Hey, how are you doing? It's Alan here from Look for Warriors, and I want to take you through really quickly today websites that you can learn from. And there's two different types of websites that you can learn. There is websites that you get some sort of qualification. It's actually a course from an actual college. So you get some sort of, it might not be a degree or a master's or anything like that, but it's at least a module towards a degree or a master's. And there's places where you can just learn stuff because you want to learn. Some people need to learn something for a job or for an interview. And if that's the case, you probably want to get the qualification. But some people just want to learn for the sake of learning. And if you're teaching your kids, it's important to show them how to feel the excitement of learning. You learn for the excitement of learning. Like I read to my kids, I've always done paired reading, and they don't read just because they enjoy reading. It's not because they're trying to read something for a test. They just enjoy the reading, so that's why they do it. So that's two different types. You can either be learning because you need a qualification for an interview or for a specific job, or you can be learning just because you want to learn something. Like for example, I've taught myself programming. I just enjoy it. I just enjoy being able to do it. Same with design. A lot of elements of design, Photoshop, Dreamweaver, Sketch, Figma, all that kind of stuff, just because I like understanding how it works, and I think it adds to me that I know that kind of stuff, especially in the work that I do. Now, so there's too many. I want this to be a 3 or 4 minute video. There's too many. I cannot go through them all. There's no way. So I'm just going to run through really quickly ones that I think is important. It's like overload of information. And I'll put a list in the description of this video, so there'll be a certain list there, but there's just too many. You've got to cut it down because otherwise just overload and you'll do nothing. The important thing is to focus on the ones that are the most important. So I'm going to leave loads out here. So apologies to the guys that I leave out, but these are the ones that I know, the ones that I use, and the ones that I think is important. And the first one I'm going to mention is one that you've heard me talk about all of the time, Skillshare. Now I like Skillshare because the first few I'm going to go through are going to be ones that if you just want to learn for the sake of learning because you enjoy learning or you want to learn a specific subject, it's not for a qualification for a job. The one thing you can do about these places is you can actually do the course, then you can show in a YouTube video that you understand. And you can certainly do that, and you can do an interview and send your YouTube video in. This is me working with Dreamweaver, this is me working with Photoshop, whatever it happens to be, if that's very important for that particular job. Or you can show your work, you can do a portfolio and show your portfolio. So these can be useful for jobs, but you don't have a specific qualification. So Skillshare is so useful. The one thing I've used Udemy and Skillshare quite a bit, and also Allison and the LinkedIn one as well, and they're all great. But the one thing I really like about Skillshare over Udemy, for example, you can spend a lot of time going through courses to see which one's the best. You can only see the previews. Now it's not expensive, they're almost always on sale, and it's like $10, $20. But if you buy one and it doesn't really suit you, you really have to buy another one after that. Whereas Skillshare, you can go into it's a monthly model, so I don't know what it is, €15, €20 a month. It's very expensive, but you can go into Skillshare, you can try out a course, and if it's not really working for you, you can do a different similar course and just move on to that, and then move on to another one if you want to. Now, obviously, you're better off focusing on one specific one, but if the one you're using isn't working for you, you can always go on to another one. So Udemy's great. You have sales all the time, really, really good content. I'm actually doing a Udemy course right now. And I love Udemy. I think it's really, the Udemy course I'm doing right now is on YouTube and YouTube promotion, but I love Udemy. Udemy is a great platform. Skillshare, you'll find on Skillshare and Udemy, some of the courses overlap, some of them don't. But Skillshare is great because you can pay your €15 a month. Like I'll pay Skillshare every single month. I'll also pay Audible every single month because I want to download books. And I don't download a book every single month, but it adds on. Some months I can get 2 or 3 books because I haven't got a book in a while. So Skillshare is great because you can just go in and you can work on a specific course, and if it doesn't work for you, you can go move on to something else. So that's why I really like Skillshare, because you don't have to commit to one specific course necessarily. There's also Allison, which is very, very similar business model to Skillshare, and LinkedIn have a training area as well. Very, very similar business model as well. They're all great. Just pick the one that works well for you. I'll put links in the description. But the one I recommend, to be very honest with you, is Skillshare. And after Skillshare, Udemy, if there's a specific course on Udemy that you want to do and it's not on Skillshare, I definitely would pick it out of Udemy. Little tip at Udemy, wait until they have sales, because you'll pay €200 or $200 on a course on a non-sale time, where you'll pay $20 or €20 on a sale time. So just wait till you have sales and buy the course then. It's always better. Now I want to go on to MOOCs as well, but MOOCs are massive open online courses, and this video is getting too long, so I'm going to just stop it. So this video is just going to be about Skillshare, Udemy, Allison, and LinkedIn. And I'll go on to MOOCs in another video, because there's just too many to go through, and I'm not having these being 20-30 minute videos. So this has been Alan here from Looking for Warriors. Websites to learn, websites that you can go and you can learn, you can bring your kids in, they can learn in there. And I'll just say this really quick about MOOCs before I go. There's a huge opportunity now for your kids. Kids are kept as kids for too long. I have a 9-year-old who's learning Photoshop. 9 years old. He's learning Photoshop and he's really good at it. Now, most people will tell you should be 20 before you're learning Photoshop. It's completely wrong. He's really good at Photoshop, because I spend like 1 hour a day with him just teaching him Photoshop. And I don't even spend an hour now. I can sit him down at a Skillshare course and he's working on it himself. He's working with his brother, and two of them will work together on it, and they're great. He's 9 years old, and I think I could have done it earlier. If I had any younger kids, I would be trying it earlier to see what the age is that is the youngest you can start with this. But there's a huge opportunity with MOOCs right now, that you can take a young kid and get them to do elements of a degree program, and they can do courses in the degree program from a very young age, and before they go to college you can have these done already, which goes towards the degree program when they're older. So there's a huge opportunity there. If you're not doing this, you're missing out. You really should be doing this with your kids. It's a really big deal. So I want to stop now. I will talk about MOOCs in a future video, but it's been Alan here from Looking for Warriors, talking about great websites where you can learn.